Welcome back to Floss Law. We're doing a quick rundown of what is open, what is not, what is the state of real estate under the COVID-19 pandemic right now on Floss Law. If you're following along, if you're watching this on YouTube, any of my social media channels, please hit like, subscribe, follow along so you can get these updates as we go along. And we're going to try to keep you all updated. Everything's changing every day, and it's been difficult for me to even get any of these videos out because everything keeps changing constantly. Every time I hit refresh, I get a changing email. But so here's the status of where everything stands right now, April 2nd of 2020, where we stand with real estate dealing with COVID-19. Right off the bat, I'm an attorney, so I'm going to start out with the legal field. All of the circuit courts are closed. If you have an emergency hearing, if you have something having to do with a criminal matter or with something to do with like child custody, something like that, the courtrooms are open for those emergency hearings. Aside from those emergency hearings, there is no court happening. After, I believe the Cook County said going forward, they do not want people showing up for jury duty anymore. Previously, they had told people to still show up. They're still going to do criminal trials. My understanding is after April 17th, they don't want anyone going to any of the courthouses anymore for any jury trials. They're not going to set any more trials. So if you got a jury duty notice for the end of April, you don't need to show up. They're going to send you a new notice. You can go a different time. So that means all evictions and all foreclosures are on hold. The evictions and foreclosures have already been on hold for several weeks. Now they're going to be on hold for even longer. What does that mean? You can still file a foreclosure, you can still file an eviction, but you will not be able to get a hearing date, and you won't be able to get any orders for foreclosure or eviction for any pending cases during this time. So for right now, as of today, for Cook County, they just extended the closure of the court. It's now until May 18th. So if you have any Cook County properties where you need an eviction or you need a foreclosure, nothing is going to happen until May 18th. So once May 18th and it opens up, everyone's going to have to run in and try to get their eviction and the foreclosures completed. But for now, nothing's going to happen. For right now, Lake County is closed until April 17th. I have a feeling that's going to get extended because originally Cook County was for April 17th as well. They extended it to May 18th. So it's waiting to hear what Lake County is going to do. McHenry County is till May 1st. Will County's till April 30th, and Kane County's till April 17th. I have a feeling that one might get extended too. So no evictions, no foreclosures during that time. So that minimizes that activity. We can't do anything other than prep any new files, get the complaint ready, but nothing else. We're not going to get any hearing dates. Now, and if you did complete the eviction order, the sheriff isn't serving those during that time either. So even if you do have the eviction order entered, the sheriff isn't going to forcibly remove your tenants for a while. We're waiting to see what date that they put on that. They have that out for a couple weeks. Again, I have a feeling that's going to get extended as well. Pretty much all of the court system involved in foreclosure and eviction have pushed everything until May. So we're at April 2nd. I'm sorry. April's already done. There's no court activity for the entire month of April. So that part of our practice is pretty much shut down for the moment. Now, as far as any other areas of real estate, pretty much everything else is open. You can, particularly if you're watching this from City of Chicago, you know that we have a lot of requirements we need to close. We need to get full paid water certificate. We need to get a zoning certificate. We need to be able to record it. There was a problem for a while. The Recorder of Deeds office was closed, and they were doing a queue. But the problem was then we were looking at potentially a month and a half of deeds getting backlogged and recorded where mistakes could get made or something else could get recorded on the property. So they've started doing e-recording. If you drop off or mail in a deed to get recorded, actually send it into their office, it will not get recorded. This is very important. If you send a runner and they're physically going to go take it there, they're going to, or you're going to mail it in there, it's going to go in a queue on the desk. Nothing's going to happen with it. If you want to get deeds recorded, it has to be e-recorded. You can go through services to do that. You can talk to your title company. When we're doing closings now, we're recording the deed, but only a e-recording of the deed, which is perfectly fine. It's perfectly legal. There's nothing wrong with doing it that way. Just know if you have any people that are still doing it old school where they're sending the deeds in, those deeds are not getting recorded. It has to be e-recorded. You should want to do that anyway. It's easier, but just so you know. The zoning office is closed, but we're still getting zoning certificates. You have to mail them in, or the title companies have a relationship with them where they're letting them go back and forth to get those zoning certificates. But you need to do it that way. You can't just walk into the office. You got to mail it in, wait for it, and get it back. Like I said, the title companies seem like they're expediting that a little bit. Same thing with the water certs. So we're luckily the water cert system is relatively computerized now, so we can still get those. If you have a building where it needs a field read, that could be a little bit of a problem. But so thankfully, most of them you could just click a button and you get the water cert now. Everything else, all the other services that you require in order to do a real estate deal, the title companies, the banks, the lenders, the attorneys, and the realtors are all still open for business. Almost every agent I work with is still out there working. They're arranging showings. Obviously, the showings are difficult right now, but they are being done. I got 2 contracts in today. So people are still out there. People are still selling real estate. People are still buying real estate. So I don't want you to get the idea that the real estate market has stopped. People that wanted to move are still moving. People who need to sell now really need to sell. People who are buying investment property are still buying investment property. It hasn't really affected them very much other than everyone's working from home now. The lenders are still lending. If you're doing regular conventional lending, you're buying, single family home, condo, anything like that, that's still moving along business as usual. And they've actually made it easier because they've approved doing drive-by appraisals again. I never thought that we would ever see the day that we'd be doing a drive-by appraisal again, but if you order your appraisal, the appraiser and the underwriter have the option to FaceTime the seller, and they can do like a video tour of the property. They might opt to view just the MLS pictures of the property and appraise it that way, or just even do a drive-by appraisal. So the appraisers are kind of using their best judgment right now to get the appraisals done. Most home inspectors I know are still working. Most lenders are still getting the mortgages approved. The only area where I've seen people have issues with their loans getting approved or getting pulled from them are some hard money lenders are pulling some of their product off the market. So people are finding out right before the closing that the hard money loan they thought they had for doing like a rehab or a fix and flip is no longer available to them. But as far as regular lending goes, all of my deals are progressing as normal. We're getting clear to close as normal. Everything's moving along as normal. What happens when you have to actually do the closing? We're going to do a whole nother video just on the real estate closing process to kind of review what that looks like right now, what the anatomy of the closing looks like. But that's kind of it. So everything related to transactional of real estate is still open. As long as the banks stay open, everyone else is going to stay open. The title companies are going to stay open. We're all going to find a way to make this work in this new world, but you can still buy real estate. You can still sell real estate. Everything is moving along. Obviously, safer. Wash your hands. Stay safe out there. But we are still seeing movement in the real estate industry. The only thing we can't do are evictions and foreclosures. I'll talk to you soon.